Jim Harbaugh appears to be staring at a 4-game suspension to start the 2023 football season, according to multiple media reports released on Tuesday afternoon. But before we get into the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the Wolverine on YouTube for more news updates, live shows, press conferences, and more. Yahoo Sports was the first to report the news, saying that the penalties toward Harbaugh and the Michigan football program stem from alleged false statements to NCAA investigators as it pertains to frivolous recruiting violations. Harbaugh has been steadfast in denying any wrongdoing to the NCAA, which has been a sticking point in the resolution of this issue that goes back months. Some of the violations included Zoom contact with recruits during the pandemic, an impromptu visit to the Brown Jug for burgers while recruits were in town, and allowing an analyst to perform on-field coaching duties. None are considered major offenses by the NCAA. Harbaugh's lack of cooperation with the NCAA is considered a grade 1 violation and would result in most cases in a 6-game suspension. Now remember, it's already down to 4, according to the reports that are out there. For months, the two sides have been working on a deal to move on from the situation. Sources told the Wolverines' Chris Ballas that the penalty could have been reduced significantly had Harbaugh admitted to wrongdoing, but at this point it has not come to pass. If this punishment goes through, which could take days or weeks to finalize, Harbaugh would miss games against East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, and Rutgers to start the season. Offensive coordinator and offensive line coach Sharon Moore and tight ends coach Grant Newsome could also face discipline. Former defensive coordinator Mike McDonald is also expected to receive a 1-year show cause penalty from the NCAA. Now listen, the NCAA's attempt at putting its foot down is akin to being in kangaroo court. There have been scandals far more serious in college sports than the one Michigan is involved in. The NCAA's mall cops cannot help themselves in a time where their power is dwindling more than it ever has. It is unlikely Harbaugh will admit to wrongdoing other than to say he cannot recall the events and what took place. By definition here, the cover-up is probably worse than the crime, but it is what it is, and non-rivals across the country are laughing at how this is being handled from an NCAA perspective. Michigan might not be affected on the field in the first 4 weeks of the season with a light non-conference schedule and a home game against Rutgers, a perennial doormat in the conference. But having the first third of the regular season is often for building chemistry and your team's identity. Not having the head coach around for the early part of the year is going to be a test for a team that has national title aspirations. Michigan's player leadership will have to step up and band together during this weird and uncertain time. Harbaugh would be allowed to coach throughout fall camp and then turn things over to his coaching and support staff, which is one of the very best in the country. Now that depth and the culture built over the last few seasons will be tested now more than ever. Keep it locked here for the latest on the Harbaugh situation and more from Michigan football in the lead up to the 2023 season.